hidden the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. It keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know from pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Thank you for listening to the GSMC Music Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Gaelika Brown, the music lover constantly seeking positive music. You know the drill. If you like what you hear, subscribe to our show and write a review. Now let's get into some music news. The Super Bowl show that featured Shakira and Jennifer Lopez boosted both artists' streams according to Nielsen Music MRC data. In total, the song catalogs of the two performers earned 31.1 million on-demand streams, audio and video combined, on February 2nd and February 3rd, up 193% as compared to their streaming sum on January 31st and February 1st, which was 10.6 million. That total makes sense. I mean, I would think that that would be true for all major televised performances, even the crappy ones. You see someone perform, you look up their music. Now, Shakira has a lot to celebrate. An increase in streams, more music and TV and film opportunities, including The Voice desperately wanting her to return as a judge. And she had the dopest birthday present ever. She performed at the Super Bowl halftime on her actual birthday. The Masked Singer premiered after the Super Bowl, and it is reported that rapper Lil Wayne surprised fans and judges as the voice of the robot while singing Lenny Kravits' Are You Going to Go My Way? Now, I don't watch the show, but before even viewing the clip, I thought, Lil Wayne has a distinct voice. There is no way I can listen and not know it was him. Sure enough, clicked on it, listened. It sounds just like Lil Wayne. Homie can't sing, especially without auto-tune. So for me, there was no surprise. It also shouldn't be a surprise that he had the lowest score and was eliminated. I'm actually surprised that he went on the show. I mean, he must really want to promote his latest album, Funeral, real hard. Now, rappers Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, and Lil Boosie shared their outrage with CBS This Morning's Gayle King on IG in response to her former WNBA champion Lisa Leslie interview about Kobe Bryant's 2003 sexual assault charge that was dismissed. She asked Lisa about the charge. Lisa handled it smoothly and with tact, suggesting that the media leave the story that is over 16 years old alone. The rappers have some very explicit things to say about the journalist, dragging down her own black people. Now, Gayle posted a video saying that the clip was taken out of context, but that doesn't change the fact that she asked the question. Why even ask the question, Gayle? Rapper Meek Mill and the late Nipsey Hussle were working on a joint project that was supposed to release summer of 2019. But after Nip's passing, Meek recently posted that they never got to finish the project and that it remains in the hands of Nip's family. Now, Bruno Mars, the Grammy-winning singer, has inked a deal with Disney to star and produce a music-driven movie. That's what was reported on Deadline. Now, while plot details are being kept under wraps, the narrative feature film will consist of mostly original music that Mars will write and perform. Now, Jay Electronica is a well-regarded rapper in the hip-hop world and has been for years. So it's crazy to hear that his debut album is finally set to release on March 18th. He recorded the album over 40 days and 40 nights starting on December 26th and announced on Twitter that written testimony will drop in 40 days. After an IG post of rapper G-Eazy kissing rapper Megan Thee Stallion on the cheek late Super Bowl night surfaced, rumors that the two are dating or at least sleeping with each other began. Now, Megan cleared things up in a post clarifying that she and he are not an item. She wrote, LOL, all right now. Y'all got jokes. Now that y'all got the jokes out, with an emoji face laughing with tears, but I am not effing G-Eazy. Now, Angels and Airwaves are making new music again. Singer Tom DeLonge confirmed the news on his Instagram account. Tom has had several posts of him in the studio or posing next to various equipment. It looks like they are in the early stages of recording, so a release date has yet to be announced. More tour drama for Madonna. I've reported in the past that she had to cancel some shows. Now she was able to perform at the London Palladium, but the venue abruptly cut her show off just a little past its 11 p.m. curfew. The venue dropped the stage curtain and shut off the sound. In an IG clip, you can hear the star yelling, "Censorship, censorship, mother effing censorship." However, Madonna has been known to start shows late and end late. So was it censorship or the fact that she ran past her allotted time? Reading the comments in her IG post, it seems a lot of fans believe it's because the diva often makes her fans wait for a late start. Fans suggested starting on time or 5 minutes early. MTV Unplugged turned 30. I didn't realize the series was still around, but it was inspired by Bon Jovi's acoustic performance at the 1989 Video Music Awards. They plan to lure some of the music world's top talent to New York City for a series of stripped-down live performances in front of a studio audience, seated inches away from them in the shadows. Now, MTV Unplugged first aired on November 26, 1989, with British rockers Squeeze, songwriter Sid Straw, and Cars guitarist Elliot Easton each playing sets. Over the years, the series also brought about some of the most interesting, unexpected, and effective collaborations ever conceived, and spawned best-selling CDs that typically opened at the top of Billboard's albums sales chart. Now, Spin.com ranked the show's 30 best episodes, number 30 being the most memorable for me, Lauryn Hill. I automatically think of rapper 50 Cent dissing her saying she made a record with no beats. But duh, 50, it was unplugged. Little did Lauryn fans know that would be her last full project. Ranked number 1 is Nirvana. The taping occurred 5 months before Cobain's suicide. And a Grammy-winning album from the Unplugged session was released a little more than a year after the show. Ozzy Osbourne wanted to do something a little different to celebrate his latest album, No Ordinary Man. He's throwing a global tattoo event on February 20th. Now that is definitely different. I'm curious to see how the outcome of this global event, how it all plays out. Now, it will be held at tattoo shops in more than 50 cities around the world. Fans will not only get an Ozzy-inspired tattoo, but they will also get to hear the new record. If you're in Los Angeles, you can meet the Prince of Darkness himself at Amoeba Records on February 21st at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Speaking of Amoeba Records, rapper Tyler, the Creator, helped them announce that the record store will be moving this fall in a fun video where he reminisces about the store allowing him to take a picture on the rooftop next to a billboard of his debut album. The store is moving to a larger venue blocks away from the current location. Liam Gallagher stopped a show in Hamburg, Germany after 4 songs due to vocal issues. In a tweet, Gallagher apologized to fans saying, "Sorry everybody who came to the gig tonight in Hamburg. My voice was not there, and if I had carried on, I would have done more damage to it. I love you all, and I hope you understand. I'll make it up to you, LG." Now let's take a break and return with some tour news and what's hot globally.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome back to the GSMC Music Podcast. I'm your host, Gaelika Brown. On to tours and festival news. Smashing Pumpkins confirmed that they'll be opening 6 shows for Guns N' Roses on their upcoming summer North American Summer Stadium Tour. The string of shows will begin in Philadelphia on July 8th and will run through July 21st in Boston. The Rolling Stones are bringing their No Filter tour back to North America this spring and summer. The 15-date tour, which begins in San Diego on May 8th and will conclude in Atlanta on July 15th, just like last year, the show will take place in baseball and football stadiums. Last year, the Stones had to postpone dates due to Mick Jagger needing heart valve replacement surgery. Big Thief will be touring around Europe before heading to Tel Aviv and Japan. They will continue on to Australia before heading back to Europe and finally playing shows around the U.S. Coheed and Cambria, clearly I don't know who they are because I don't know if I even said that right, but they are returning to the road with a new edition of Never Ender tour dates. Pearl Jam are playing and headlining a show in New York City for the first time since 2016. Hosted by SiriusXM and Pandora, the gig will take place at the Apollo Theater in Harlem on March 26. It will air live on SiriusXM's Pearl Jam Radio. And after the show, the SiriusXM channel will premiere the new album in North America. The show will take place a few days before their Madison Square Garden show. Meanwhile, Pandora will drop both a Pearl Jam Live A to Z playlist, which includes the band's best live performances as well as a Pandora story, where Pearl Jam will discuss the new record and some of their most well-known songs. You will need to be a current subscriber to SiriusXM or Pandora to enter a chance to get a seat at the private show. SiriusXM subscribers can win tickets either through the Pearl Jam radio contest or via email if they receive emails from SiriusXM Marketing. Now on to the top 10 songs played in the United States according to Apple Music. Roddy Ricch's The Box is still number 1. That new Future featuring Drake, Life is Good, been sitting at number 2 for a couple of weeks. Number 3, Roddy Ricch reclaims his spot from Lil Wayne with High Fashion. Number 4, Something to Prove, Lil Baby. Number 5, Ballin', Mustard and Roddy Ricch. Number 6, Lil Wayne, I Do It, featuring Lil Sean and Lil Baby. I said Lil Sean, featuring Big Sean and Lil Baby. Last week, Wayne was all over the top 10. Now he only makes 1 appearance in this number 6 spot. Number 7 is Out West, Jack Boys. Number 8, Bop the Baby. Number 9, Start With Me, Roddy Ricch. Roddy keeps killing the game week after week. Who's going to take this young man down? Number 10 is Eminem, Barely Made the List with Godzilla Again, featuring Juice WRLD. Now let's compare that to the top 10 songs played globally according to Apple Music. Roddy Ricch The Box sits number 1 in the US and globally still. Future and Drake are still number 2. And number 3, Roddy Ricch High Fashion. Number 4, The Weeknd Blinding Lights. Number 5 is still occupied by Tones and I, Dance Monkey. Number 6, Eminem Godzilla. Number 7 is a new one, Dua Lipa, Don't Start Now. Number 8, Mustard Ballin'. Number 9, Justin Bieber Kick Lil Baby out the top 10. What yummy. And number 10, Everything I Wanted, Billie Eilish. Now, what have I been jamming? I tried to get into that Tyler, the Creator, Igor, since it won a Grammy for Best Rap Album. Although Tyler is a rapper, that wasn't a rap album. It's very experimental. The production is bananas. And it felt like the album's focus was more on the musicality than the lyrical content. It's artsy, so I guess I would see why it got the vote that it got, but as a rap fan, I wouldn't label it as the best rap album. But that new Magic Wand, one of the joints he performed at the Grammys, slaps. And after that performance, you gotta give it to Tyler. He truly is creative. Now, of course, I've heard Meghan Trainor's pop hits, but I never listened to her albums. Meghan can write a hit and has an amazing voice. And some cool features. There isn't a particular feel to the project. It just sounds like a bunch of random songs on a playlist. But I enjoyed Wave featuring Mike Sabbath, Nice to Meet You featuring Nicki Minaj, Genetics featuring Pussycat Dolls, and After You featuring AJ Mitchell. Overall, I have to say I enjoyed Kesha's High Road more since it came out at the same time. Now, I gave K. Michelle's All Monsters Are Humans a spin. It was alright. I think a lot of women can relate to Ciara's Prayer. It references singer Ciara's relationship with quarterback Russell Wilson and her trifling baby daddy Future, and how now Ciara is with the ultimate man. Speaking of which, Russell threw major shade at Future this week when he said, quote, "I don't like seeing my son and wife stressing about such a minuscule. Ciara and her ex constantly argue because he's not consistent and can go months without even paying. I can provide for my family without his little coins. I'm sure he needs the money more than we do. He's got other kids in need. No need for him to overextend himself because we are set for generations ahead of us." Burn. That was so much shade. It's so eloquent. Like, I just read it. I'd have to like actually hear how he said it, because he probably said it like with such the coolest like manner. But yeah, them little coins. And he's got other kids in need. No need for him to overextend himself, because we set for generations. Russell got that generational wealth. But speaking of K. Michelle's album, that OMG is a good baby making song, and Superhood fills my ratchet love tank up. Now, since Shakira and J-Lo made Super Bowl history as the first Latin artists and women to headline the Super Bowl, I thought it would be fun to look at the 10 best Super Bowl halftime performances ever. Number 10, Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, P. Diddy, Nelly, Jessica Simpson, and Kid Rock, 2004. So I don't remember any of those performances besides Janet and Justin and their wardrobe malfunction. Janet's breast being exposed overshadowed the entire night. What teams were playing? I don't know. But I remember Janet's breast and all the media coverage that followed it for a long time. Number 9, Michael Jackson, 1993. Now, this was the most watched event in U.S. history. The production began with Jackson appearing on each of the venue's massive Jumbotron screens with stunt doubles, then appearing on each of them in a puff of smoke. Jackson himself, dressed like a Middle Eastern dictator, as imagined by the artist Jeff Koons, then appeared. The star jumps up onto the center stage in an entrance of split-second timing, especially considering that he spent the following 2 minutes completely still as like the crowd just went nuts. Number 8 is Lady Gaga in 2017. Number 7, U2, 2002. This was the first Super Bowl to take place since the September 11th attack. U2 marked it by showing a scrolling list of names of those who had perished as Bono sprinted around the circular stage to the characteristics chiming guitar of Where the Streets Have No Name. Number 6 is Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band in 2009. Number 5, Katy Perry, Lenny Kravitz, and Missy Elliott in 2015. The sudden switch from the Nickelodeon saturation of Teenage Dream and California Girls onto Missy Elliott, Get Your Freak On, is one of the great mood changes in halftime show history. A mood change that I welcomed gladly. I love me some Missy Elliott, so that was the highlight of the show for me. Lenny Kravitz contributed to Katy Perry's part, but I honestly don't remember anything but Missy. Number 4, Madonna, LMFAO, Nicki Minaj, MIA, and CeeLo Green in 2012. Number 3, Aerosmith, Britney Spears, NSYNC, Nelly, and Mary J. Blige in 2001. Who comes up with these wild pairings? I mean, the Rolling Stones, a rap superstar, a queen of R&B, and a 5-headed chart-topping boy band? It never makes sense, but it's always entertaining. Number 2, Beyonce and Destiny Child, 2013. This will forever be known as the Destiny Child reunion for me. Number 1, you gotta give it to him. Of course, it better be number 1. Prince, 2007. Most people never realized how much they wanted to hear Prince backed by a marching brass band until 2007 Super Bowl. While Prince hurtled into Let's Go Crazy and Baby I'm a Star, the Florida A&M University Marching 100 providing a fitting backing band. The finale, however, couldn't have been timed more perfectly. It rained as he sang Purple Rain. Now let's take a break and get into music history with Lenny Kravits.
Searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
So Lil Wayne did a Lenny Kravitz cover on The Masked Singer, so I thought it would be cool to cover Lenny in this music history segment. Born in New York on May 26, 1964, his mother was actress Roxy Roker, best known for her role as Helen Willis on the popular TV series The Jeffersons, and his father was a TV producer. Kravitz was raised in Los Angeles, where he found himself around countless musical giants as a youngster due to his parents' friendship with the likes of Duke Ellington, Sarah Vaughan, Count Basie, Ella Fitzgerald, Bobby Short, and Miles Davis, just to name a few. You know, no big names, no name dropping there, just little, D-list stars, right? Like, how cool would that have been to be Lenny Kravitz as a kid? So Kravitz was a member of the California Boys Choir until his teenage years, when he decided to pursue rock and roll while in high school and under the influence of funk rocker Prince. Kravitz's admiration for the Purple One was so great that he first patterned his style and approach directly after Prince and became known as Romeo Blue, complete with blue contact lenses and all, but failed to land a recording contract. In the late 80s, Kravitz relocated to New York City, where one of his roommates turned out to be actress Lisa Bonet, who played the part of Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show. They eventually got married. During this time, Kravitz wisely discarded his Prince-like approach and looked back to such 60s, 70s classic rockers as Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Wonder, Curtis Mayfield, Bob Marley, and the Beatles for inspiration. He did a back-to-the-basics approach, signed a record contract with Virgin Records, and issued his debut release, Let Love Rule, in 1989. Kravitz's debut proved to be a surprise hit due to the success of the title track, which became a hit single and an often aired video. A few critics were quick to assume that Kravitz's retro look and sound were simply a shtick to get the public's attention, but come to the 90s, it had become integrated into the mainstream, both musically and fashion-wise, proving that Kravitz was a bit of a trendsetter. It was around this time that Kravitz penned a major hit single, not for himself, but for Madonna, who went to number 1 with the sultry track, Justify My Love. What should have been a time of happiness for Kravitz quickly turned sour as he and Bonet divorced in the early 90s. Kravits' heartbreak was very evident in his sophomore effort, Mama Said, which was even stronger than his predecessor, highlighted by Always on the Run, a collaboration with Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash, as well as the mega hit with the Curtis Mayfield-esque soul ballad, It Ain't Over Till It's Over, which confirmed that Kravits' success was no fluke. But the best was yet to come. His third release overall, 1993's Are You Gonna Go My Way, is often considered to be the finest album front to back of his entire career. And with good reason. Every single song was a winner, including the up-tempo title track, which turned out to be one of MTV's most played videos that year. The album was a massive hit, and Kravits became an arena headliner statewide, as well as being featured on countless magazine covers. Kravits made his acting debut in the Academy Award-nominated 2009 film Precious, based on the novel Pushed by Sapphire. He was filming his next role, a spot in the eagerly awaited adaptation of Susan Collins' The Hunger Games. He released his ninth album, Black and White America, in the summer of 2011, reprising his role of Cinna in the second Hunger Games movie in 2013. Kravits wouldn't return to the studio until the following year. He released his 10th studio album, Strut, in September of 2014. It was preceded by the disco rock single, The Chamber. Strut debuted at number 19 on the Billboard's Top 200. After a 4-year break, Kravits returned in September 2018 with his 11th album, Raise Vibration. The single Low featured a posthumous vocal collaboration with Michael Jackson and yielded a deluxe remix collection later in the year. Now, as a kid, I had a crush on Lenny, but it was mainly because I just thought he was cute. Besides American Woman, I really didn't listen to his music. I guess I'm more familiar with him as an actor than a musician. But I still give him his props. I recognize his talent. Now, instead of our usual Say What song lyric, I found an article on Spin entitled 35 Best Breakup Songs Ever. I thought it would be fun to go through the list since Valentine's Day is approaching. I guess that's just my sick humor. So this feature is Marvin Gaye's 1978, Is That Enough? Now, I have never heard of this song, but according to Spin, Marvin Gaye had a lot of alimony and child support payments he needed to dish out. So he opted to knock off a double LP and split the royalties with Berry Gordy's sister Anna, whom he'd left for another woman. In the song, he is complaining about possessiveness and jealousy until he takes a smoking break. So here are the lyrics. Whoa, I was a fool from the start, fooling around with my mind instead of my heart. I was young and fine and you plucked me clean. Oh, but you didn't know that. I didn't know that. You didn't know what I mean. You know, you had a brother who thought he was cool, but really I was a dumb little fool. You said you never go away and stay by my side night and day. You said you would love and obey. Well, you should. It can only get you good. I was a dumb little fool. But I'll never get enough. Enough of that funky stuff. I'm going to jump back in, up to my neck again. You always knew that I wasn't that kind of guy. All the times I thought you knew, well, I was busy loving you. What was you afraid to lose? Everybody's got to choose. I don't know if I'm going to get a yeah or a nah, but if I'm going to do what His Honor says, too possessive, jealous. She was too possessive, jealous, too possessive, jealous. She was too possessive, jealous. But if I decide, baby, what you want, I want to know if you would be satisfied. Baby, satisfied. Baby, satisfied. Would you be satisfied? Satisfied? Is that enough, baby? Is that enough? Last you a lifetime? Is that enough? Is that enough? Keep you happy? Is that enough? You know, I do it. And I know that you love just love. That expensive stuff. You got a flair for style. And the style is all the while. What could I do? The judge said she got to keep on living the way she accustomed to. She trying to break a man. I don't understand. Somebody tell me please. Why do I have to pay attorney fees? My baby's attorney fees? Oh, baby, this is a joke. I need a smoke. Wait a minute. That's pretty hilarious. Only Marvin Gaye can write a song like that and it still sound like cool and sultry and just smooth and just, I mean, he's Marvin Gaye. Talking about attorney fees. But how genius is it that he made an LP to pay alimony and child support? Maybe Future should take his cue from Marvin and make an LP so he can pay his child support on time to Sierra, and I'm sure all his other baby mamas. Then Russell Wilson won't have to do his diss about his little coins. So I definitely appreciate your time. I thank you for listening to the GSMC Music Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. Until next time, I'm Gaelika Brown, the music lover constantly seeking positive music.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.